Evening, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I got everything pulled up. Yeah, of course, I'm always on YouTube only, and I've got my Twitch chat room open up since I'll never go live on Twitch. But if you have a Twitch account, you have a whole ass channel and a chat room that never closes. What's up, one to go to? Glad you made it. Good to see you. Oh, I didn't realize I didn't plan on making it this far at all. So everything in year 26 is like, oh, that's a thing. So I was on Tubi today looking for movies. Tubi is where you can watch Dark Shadows, which is what I've been reviewing. Totally free to watch. Arden says, hi, Nikki, what's up? One to go to says, you look marvelous. Thank you. Thanks very much. Trying to get the hair looks less tragic when I'm wearing a dark shirt. Um, just looking around on Tubi, one thing it does do, and I've mentioned this before, how it kept the Edge in there, even though it was not available until November 1st. I'm like, whenever the hell that is, that's next year. Anyway, get to next year, which is today. Actually, it was October 11th, but it's still, this year. And I've still got the Edge in my, movies to watch later, and it's like, yep, there it is. They still haven't taken it out yet, and wait, the last time I looked at that, it said something about November 1st. I wonder when that is. Wait, it could be November. So I tap on it, and there was nothing like a back on November 1st, going away in X amount of days. It just seems to be like there to watch. Let me go there again because I went there earlier. My eyes were still not quite with it, so I didn't imagine it. I know it's there. Did I imagine something else around it? Hold on, let me look. Might let the Edge. They've got Titanic, the Titanic from 1997. I haven't seen that in a minute. I love that film, but didn't quite have 3 hours earlier. The Edge, the Edge. Here, yeah, the Edge. Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin, 1997. Jerry Goldsmith score. It's just there. It's not going to show up on it. It's just there. You can watch it on Tubi right now. Watch The Edge. Should I review it for this channel? I don't know, but watch it. Watch it. I don't know what to do. I like part of me thinks I should just watch it and review it and do it at the end of the month. Um, no vote or anything. I'm just gonna pick a movie and talk about it. But just because I never shut up about it, and I've brought it up so much, and anybody can watch it since it's on a free platform. I'm kind of thinking about. I don't know. I'll give it about a week to kick it around in my head, kind of make it an official thing, possibly. But yeah, the Edge from 1997. Just love that film. But yeah, that was I was not expecting to see that on there today because I guess it is November 1st. I'll take my computer's word for it. Yeah, because the sirens go off. They always set off sirens at noon on the first of the month because I don't know why. Because it's a tornado siren. We don't have tornadoes. Why are they trying to summon them? Like stop that! They're gonna hear you. It's like doing the Bloody Mary thing or Beetlejuice thing. Like stop it. They will show up if you keep whatever. My tax dollars at work. Oh, what's up, Patrick? Glad you made it. Says, hi, Nikki. You good? Arden and Wally went to go to. Hope you're all well. Yeah, doing good. Doing good. All things considered. Yesterday, Halloween ends up being the worst day of the year for me. It was my favorite holiday that was not my own. And then my friend died on that day 11 years ago. So all I did yesterday was just try not to think about it. So I didn't go through like listening to the sad song stuff or, like crying or like doing all the drugs. So I just played Minecraft and did other things and tried not to think about it. And I got through it. And a lot of people do go live, so I did see it like Swaley and Puff and Mauler, and like they were doing stuff. So I'm glad people do have fun, just because like the fun was taken out of it for me. I still want people to enjoy it. Like have your Halloween parties, trick or treat, dress up, do all the silly stuff. Like, please do, but like, please don't expect to, think I'm gonna be able to like show up for your Halloween party or anything like that, because it just up to a certain point, like the thought of it is fun, and then I remember how everything just happened to end for me on that day, and that it's not fun anymore, and it's just like keep me away from my exit materia. Don't let me get to whenever I'm feeling the worst. You can't even sit in a chair, can't sit on a bed, nothing. You just gotta lay flat on the floor, face down, and listen to Mockingbird by Eminem. That's when I'm at my lowest. I think if I learn that song, it will no longer have power over me, but then I get to a certain point and completely break down, and I don't come back until the end of the song when it gets funny. So it still devastates me. I wasn't that bad yesterday again. I just had to, I didn't want to build anything like permanent. I didn't want to start anything in Minecraft thinking, oh, I started that on Halloween. So like I didn't plant any trees or do any decorating. I was just gathering resources, which doesn't sound like anything, but I worked out a hack to get iron. I can trade for it, and I think I can get like a one emerald for an iron axe. I use that axe up, you smelt it down, and then you get an iron nugget. You get 9 of those, and you get an iron bar. So it's a very slow iron farm, but it's an iron farm nonetheless. So I'm just chopping down trees. I built a machine that chops down bamboo. That's the most frustrating thing to harvest. It is so much fun whacking it with your sword, like the sound it makes and watching it fall. Then the fun ends. It is zero fun after that, because it's a solid thing. You have to walk around and just know. So it took me about a week. I built a farm for that. Never have to touch it again. Then I thought I can do the same thing for sugarcane, because that's basically paper. So I got that going. You have to be like so close to it for it to run, and then it's just doing that in the background while I'm harvesting other stuff. So you're getting a lot done, even though it's not like structures are going up, but it is a gathering resources game. Oh, Patrick says an hour earlier for me today. Your clock's changed tonight. I think we changed last week. That's true. I was thinking about that. Yeah, it's the UK. They've already done the time change thing. Ours is going to be, for us, it'll be tomorrow at 2 a.m., which is basically later tonight. If you want to be real, nobody's going to bed at midnight. So yeah, then we'll be back at the regular. We get an extra hour, right? That's an extra hour playing video games or watching Dark Shadows. Oh my God. That is so cool. That's one thing I didn't do. As much as I wanted to, I had the urge to work yesterday. I thought, if I do a review of Dark Shadows, then I'm just always going to think, oh, that's the reviews I did on that day. I didn't want any kind of negative connotations, so that's just how you tiptoe around the depression to get through it. So I've had worse October 31st. And not so bad as far as that day goes, but it's nothing like I wouldn't want to do my own show, because I would get into a mood or have technical difficulties and fall apart. So no. But again, if it's something like going to a chat room, that's fine. Your whole world can be falling apart, but as long as you show up to the chat room and act like yourself, it's all good. And it kind of might sound like you're being fake by doing that, but just putting yourself through the motions. By the time you get to 9 o'clock, you're like, you know what? It wasn't bad for 2 hours. Things are gonna be okay. Wow, what do I look like at would it be 11 p.m. then, starting instead of midnight? Wow. Like the show's still on the same day for you that it is for us. Like it would still be Saturday for you. It's Saturday, right? It is. Yeah, it's Saturday. And then Frank seems to have, he mentioned going to like his dad had a Halloween party, and then Frank went to it, something. He may have live streamed it. Plus, he was airing Saturday, the show that he did. He had like a lot of content go up yesterday, so my phone was chiming off a lot, and it's always on, so I'm just like gaming, check the phone, okay, gaming, check the phone. damn, what's everybody getting up to? And Halloween was on a Friday, just like it was in 2014. Patrick, All Hallows Day today, yeah. How could it be hollow? You should be full of candy from yesterday. They don't do trick or treating in the UK, do they? What do they? Is that even like? I know a lot of these holidays are just basically American. Uh, like what do the Irish do on March 17th? That's just a day for them. How do you be extra Irish for a day? I don't. I wonder about that kind of stuff, like kind of sarcastically, but kind of like as an American, just think about it, like you're just geared up for Halloween, and then you don't see anybody, like you're the only house that's decorated, you're the only one in a costume. I did kind of like that because when I was in the UK, or sorry, not the UK, in Europe, in the Netherlands, it was the second week of October, and then I was there for about a week, and it's just October, and then you get back to the United States, and suddenly you see like the fake spider webs and the plastic pumpkins. You're like, oh, it's October, yeah. So there's that. And I should have said this last week because it happened last week, but I'm pretty sure it was last week. Frank showed a picture of Gadget Doc's father and his son Cameron. He's the kid who used to call in, oh, hey, Frank, and had his little kid voice, and then a few months go by, yeah, Frank, so I was just watching the show. It's whoa, I guess dude went through puberty. We're like, Cameron? But Frank said he's like 20 now, and he showed a picture, and, oh, what's up, NT? Glad you made it. As much as Gadget Doc's father sounds exactly like him, down to the laugh, it fucks me up so bad to hear that man talk. He sounds just like his son. He doesn't really quite look like him. He just looks like some different other guy of that age you would expect him to be. But then his son, like I can really see it in the face. He looks so much like his dad. Just his son is like ginger, and then Gadget Doc was more of a like dirty blonde. He was throwing bald on top, but I would say like his base color. He wasn't ginger, but he was more like a blonde type of hair. But yeah, it was so wild to see. I was glad we just saw them because if he would have heard his voice too, just instant tears. Just like in anime when you see a character cry and they just instantly have these rivers of water down their face. That's how I get it. It fucks me up so bad. There's no you can't block that attack. It's going to hit you the same way every time. Patrick said they do. It's got bigger here because of you in America, so the kids here have took it on. Oh, okay. So like, come on, Mom, just hand out candy. Just do it. My friends are doing it. We want to dress up. I'm interested in their like versions of like how do they dress up? Because like we have our own style of dressing up. Maybe they have a whole different like scheme in the UK. Like, why is it so devastatingly funny for a UK person to wear like a fake horse head? I don't know why that is. It's obviously a rubber mask, but it's just something over there. It absolutely slays over there. I don't know why. You never see that over here, but you go across the pond, it's suddenly a thing. Like I like the differences in comedy. I just don't know why that is funny, but I'll why are we laughing? uh, but anyway, we're going to get right into a recap of the last 3 discs. So that will be episodes 54 through 79. And the discounting only matters if you bought the box set, which is kind of an investment. If you are that hardcore into the show, I'm with you. If not, that's okay. There's Tubi. There's also this. I found this last week. Tumblr. It's the Internet Archive has all of Dark Shadows, every single last episode. I'll have to share that. If I don't do it tonight, I'll share it tomorrow on YouTube and on Twitter. If Tubi is not free enough for you, it's on the Internet Archive. Be mindful though, they don't number the episodes that are not counted. So like they have like it's like 1,239 episodes. so if you're trying to like follow any kind of number scheme, that's not going to match up. But aside from that, they do have them all. Patrick, mostly ghoulish type costumes. I imagine they have a little bit more, like where we would do like a slutty nun, slutty bartender, slutty hairdresser. Like they might actually do like actual, like somebody actually dressed as Krampus for Halloween. Like they'll go that far. But yeah, what do we know so far? What did we gather in the last so many odd episodes? Just stuff that's been kind of nagging at me, or things that I've been keeping track of that don't quite fit into the episodes. I've got to put it somewhere. That's what this is. So Maggie still does not know what's worrying Sam. Something's always bothering this man. He never tells his daughter what's up. And she just has to be a detective and ask everybody else in town to try to figure out what's going on with this dude. So they're just stuck in that same cycle. And meanwhile, Sam, he cannot turn around with Rogers right there asking him what he's doing, who he's talking to, and just keep your mouth shut. So Sam's getting it from both sides. His daughter's worried about him, but then he's got Roger over here bothering him. So, of course, he's drinking. And Maggie is sarcastic AF. I love it. When it comes out, like, she goes hard. She's not a mean-spirited person, but when she lets it fly, it's too funny. And we can gather that Sam had not married 25 years ago, because that's when he put that Betty Hanscom picture, about 25 years. Didn't know Maggie's mom yet, so we're just trying to narrow like Maggie and Joe, like roughly their ages. So they're not 25, okay. We assume everybody's at least 18, or rather, aside from David, everybody is 18 and some variation of that. And I knew Roger would start being nice to Victoria after that Bill Malloy stuff, but I don't know. He is really just nice to her when he wants something from her. And we still don't know why Bill was out there that night. All we know is he fell into the water. Some people think he was pushed, but what got him out of his house to go walking along by the water in the first place? That hasn't come up. I guess it's true for Roger. Anytime he's nice to somebody, it's just because he wants something. He's number one in the universe, and everybody else is just like, oh, and you're here. So that's him. Very much stuck on himself. Patrick said, saying that, I think the Scots and the Irish brought the Halloween thing to the U.S. That makes sense with them, like, traveling over here, just with the potato thing and whatnot. That does make sense. Oh man, you think it's scary here? You don't know what we had to face back in Ireland. We had the Fae. We had famine. We had Irish people. I like the Irish accent. I was listening to something earlier, could not place the accent. I'm like, wait, he's Irish. That's different. I like it. It's not like Scottish. It's not like English. And Victoria has had it up to here with the suspicion of her. She just had to go off. She took all she can take. And I think she was in her right to go off when she was yelling at Liz. Not really yelling at her, but just that's when it came out. And Carolyn is jealous because Burke does like Victoria more than her. Carolyn is just a part of the family Burke wants to take down, whereas Victoria is somebody he's interested in. And Carolyn, she just floats through life. She does not understand anything. She does not understand her own feelings. She's 18 years old and just in the clouds. So David is Burke's number one fan. That dude. If Burke had his own channel, his own social media stuff, like the top comment on every single video and every single post would be David Collins. That's where David's at. And Liz, she just holds it all together and just looks so fabulous. They don't really bring up the fact that she's the one doing everything in the house. She's doing the laundry, she's sweeping the floors, cleaning the windows, dusting, making dinner. And like I'm sure, like Carolyn and Roger can do their own laundry, but David's not going to do his own laundry. Roger's probably not going to do his son's laundry, so that's Liz's job now. Like this doesn't come up, but we can just assume what happens in there. So that's all on her. But then she still has the time to have everything put up and perfect and the jewels and all this stuff. Girl, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I don't know how she does it. I'm glad Matthew's around. He's sort of sensitive to the spooky stuff. Like we don't know at this point in the show like what angle, well, we don't know where the show's going to be at in 5 years, so like they're just slowly integrating this little bit of creepiness. Comes up once in a while, maybe it'll come up later. And Joe is still hanging on to Carolyn. I think he's afraid to let go of, like he knows that's a good thing. It's not that he's worried about her taking care of him. He wants to build his own future, but it's like once he lets her go, he's done with her, like completely in his head, and he's still hanging on to that little glimmer of hope. Maybe she's going to turn around and realize I'm a good guy. And T says, well, some groups brought the evil doings based on their fear porn, which most room temperature IQ fall for it every time. Yeah. Oh, Erica, what's up? Glad you made it. What's up? Smash that like button right, meow. And Mrs. Johnson, I wondered how she would get onto the show. Finally got on. I was so happy to see her. I'm so glad she's there. Still have coffee and donuts. Occasionally. It's nice to see. Those are the only donuts I've been eating lately. And Burke and Mrs. Johnson know that Bill Malloy was killed. Not for 1 second did they think anything different. So that brings us up to episode 80. October 14, 1966. And we are still on the 10th day. In the intro, Victoria's saying that someone's worried about being connected with Bill Malloy's accidental death. And the very next thing we see is we're in the living room, and it's Roger. And he's retracing his steps. It's like he's like when you know what, like you're actually physically going through the motions of what you did to try to remember. That's where he's at. So it's like he's taking a few steps in the room. Okay, then here, Carolyn. Pen. Did I put it? Could I have dropped it? No. Did I change my coat? No. So he's really doing, like, he really does not remember. Like, do you drink that much, Roger? He doesn't remember? Like, he doesn't remember. Okay, but as he's, doing these kind of, talking to himself a little bit, mumbling a bit, just going through the motions of this, and as he's doing that, Victoria walks up, like the doors are open, and he notices her. I wasn't, it's not what you think, and she kind of doesn't care what he was doing. She's like, well, I was just looking for David. Roger's like, oh, I got a call. David was at the Collinsport Inn restaurant with Burke, but when I went there to go pick him up, he was gone. Victoria's like, oh, yeah, well, if he's not there, he's probably at his favorite place, the old house. And this is when Roger mentions that he doesn't want Mrs. Johnson at Collinwood. He calls her a stranger. Victoria says, like me. And it's mostly that Roger thinks, Mrs. Johnson is going to have like her friends come over, so we're just going to have a bunch of looky-loos wanting to like peek inside every room, so that's what he's getting at. Which is reasonable. I'm the same way. I don't like people up in my space. I'd rather go, like, I'll go to your house. Don't be up in my house. NT, do the snozberries taste like snozberries after you lick the window? Auto judgment, but you'll know. The snozberries taste like snozberries. What's up, John Rogers? How you doing? Glad you made it. What is that even from? I just know the meme. Patrick said, I wanted to watch Sleepy Hollow movie. Headless Horseman goes back to medieval times in Europe. Had no idea. I want to see that version of You say Sleepy Hollow. I'm thinking the one from 1999 with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. But I'd like to see him go back. Like, no, I'm not taking this shit. I'm going right back to where this started. That's such a Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing to do. John Rogers, yeah, we have a normal chat room. Yeah, it's It's Willy Wonka. Thank you. Oh, I gotta watch some Willy Wonka. It's been a minute. Somebody said in the Quite Frankly chat room that Frank can get his chat room put back to screen names rather than handles just by contacting his YouTube rep, and then it's a quick fix. That's literally what folks were saying earlier this week. I didn't have to write it down. I just remembered it because it's so important. While I believe everything people say in the chat room, I kind of want to find out. I kind of want to like not Google the search engine, but look it up to find out if that's true. I don't want to tell Frank what to do and have that not be the steps, because it's one thing to. The whole thing seems futile, because if I find the right steps and tell the man, that's all I can do. I can't. I don't know what his schedule's like. I don't know if he feels like he should go through the hassle of getting it put back, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't try everything I can on my end to get it readable. Uh, but that's what I've heard, so I kind of want to look up, like, hey, has anybody done this? Is this the steps? That way I can, like, hey, Frank, if you just do these few steps, you'll get it back to the way it was, and just. If I expect it not to work and it does, then we could all be surprised together. So I'll just. Yeah. All we can do is try. So yeah, Roger doesn't want Mrs. Johnson hired. He thinks she's just going to bring her friends over to start looking around the house. So Liz is there. She's got her double pearl necklace on. This is okay. This is something different. This is a different. It is a double pearl necklace, but it's got. We can only see it so well, and then later on I can see it better. I forget if I wrote that down, but what it is, it's like where the pearls join up. It's almost like it's got like diamonds where they meet up, and this is all like just hangs on the left side there. And but then like right in the middle of those diamonds, there's an oval stone that's dark. Um, it's like a sideways oval with some small similar stones around it. Ruby. I can't recall it from the color episodes. I'm just trying to guess what color it is based on it being black and white. It's not a pure black stone. I could be wrong. And then pearl earrings, a dark long sleeve dress. It's not black though. John Rogers says, it messes with my head trying to do the chat. It's hard enough trying to work on my reading. It's so messed up because you got that @ symbol, and then if people have small handles, it just looks like hold on. It's, that's not it. Let me put some more vowels in there. Or some little, like that's if. What the hell with an @ symbol in front of it? That's everybody's screen name looks like that with numbers. It's like @ symbol keyboard smash. That. But I wish my progressed sun was not in Pisces, because then maybe I would have words for these things that I just don't have words for anymore. But just there's no, rather than, it's just meant to cause eye strain. That's why they do it. That's the reason why there's so many animations on things. That's why text is so small. That's why any of it. So I understand that. But if there is a way to fix it, we know how. We just have to find the steps, make sure they're correct, and then give that information to Frank. Because even if he doesn't change it, we can live with the knowledge that we did everything we could on our end, and that's just where it sits. Because it's not, it's not something that you can set for yourself to have your screen name show up like that. Show up as a handle versus a screen name. Like, we personally don't have that setting. That's something it sounds like Frank has to contact somebody at YouTube about. I personally would not know about contacting people at YouTube. Arden says, on my phone, you have to type all that in. On laptop, it autofills. Yeah, when you're on your phone, it will not. Where you need it to, it will not just autofill in. It won't tag anybody for nothing. You can put the @ symbol and type their name the way it looks, but it won't tag them. But if you're on a laptop or a tablet or something else, then it will. That's stupid. Or yeah, Liz has some awesome fashion. You just have to stop before the scene even begins. Or like, I'll watch half of the scene and I'm just looking at the clothing, and then I'll go back and like, okay, now the words, okay. But yeah, Liz comes down, and Victoria, she's got stuff to do anyway, so she just, she leaves the room. So Roger finally gets a chance to ask Liz, like, did you think about asking me and David if we want Mrs. Johnson to live here? And he's kind of giving it to her, like you don't consider anybody else in the house. You just make these decisions. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's her house, dude. You've been here 2 months. Did you think about asking me? And Liz is like, well, did you think I wanted time to do other things? And that's what I'm saying. She does all the cooking, all the cleaning, like her laundry, David's laundry, mop the floor, plan the meals. So if you're going to be late for dinner, well, Liz has to know she's the one cooking. Patrick, I think YouTube is run mostly by bots now, or as they call them, AI. Well, bots are just bots. AI is just Satan. It's just meant to like cause more eye strain and stress people out and piss them off. That's why my bank has there's like video, you can see the person, like the teller, when you go up to the drive-through. I don't need to see that person. I don't care what they look like. Give zero fucks. I'm not trying to date any of the bitches up in there. But it's just so there's more movement, so your eyes don't get a break. So like, well, I guess you are off of the road. You still got movement, so your eyes can't relax. And then you get back on the road. That's why they do that. Victoria's bedroom. She's up there, just hanging out. But Carolyn comes in, and she has a problem. Like, you narrowed it down to just one. But she broke her date with Joe, and he hasn't called since. But she can't be the first one to call, because that would be like admitting she's wrong. Victoria says, well, aren't you? Carolyn's like, well, yeah, but you know what? She's like, I won't call him. I'll just say it was your idea. That's got her happy, so she takes off. Wait, it's not my fault. Gets on the phone. So down in the living room, Roger is saying that David was at the Collinsport Inn restaurant with Burke, and Mrs. Johnson will happen to be there too. So Liz says she'll talk to David about that. And then over in the foyer, Carolyn, she's on the phone and just finishing up. I guess Joe is on the way over. And this is when, Roger comes out of the living room. He walks up to Carolyn and he's still kind of just glancing about at stuff. He asks Carolyn, he's like, "Are you sure you gave me that pen?" Carolyn's like, "Yeah, I can't forget that night. It's the same night Bill Malloy died." And she returned the pen. Roger said he went straight to his office, so if it's not in Collinwood, he lost it along the way. So we jump from that to Roger casually scouring the beach at Lookout Point. Okay, wait. They don't make as big a deal about this, and this was the first. I've been through this twice, and this is the first time I'm like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I must have lost it along the way. Next place we see him at is the beach where the pen was found, where Bill Malloy washed. Well, he didn't really wash up there. He washed up at Widow's Hill, which is down a little ways, but you're basically admitting Roger was there. This is nobody actually really comes out and is saying it, but you're pointing the finger directly at Roger. This just showing him there is the same thing as accusing him of murdering Bill Malloy. It's so subtle. It's easy for it to just go right past you, but Roger killed Bill. And this just totally breezes by. Like, they don't stop and point this out. Like, this just goes on by like it's a regular old scene. And I'm like, wait. That's almost like putting up a card or like, like have like the arrow, like light up arrow pointing at the guilty guy. It's the same thing. John Rogers says, "I have a hard time with complicated screen names anyhow. It's bad enough with some of these screen names. Like, not you guys. You guys basically have real names, but some of these names are just... Like, some people make, like, character limit names just to be silly. Some people are, like, using not English words. I will say this, though. A lot of the Franklies have taken it upon themselves to update their handles. I mean, like, I've been putting the steps in there. I know I've still got it. I'll put it in the chat room right here. But I'm slowly, like, part of my brain is getting used to seeing, like, just these handles that I can't understand without looking at it more than once. But some of these people, like, really are, like, they're slowly, everybody's getting around to making their handles look like their screen names. So, like, bless those people. If I had everybody's sign-in information, I would do it for them. But you really don't want to give any random person your login information for YouTube. But folks are working on it. They really are. I'm so proud of them. I don't know what you're not doing anybody any favors if you've been spending a few years in a room and suddenly you've got a brand new name. It's like you died and a new person showed up if we don't see that same name there. And Frank doesn't know who anybody is either. We'll tell him how to fix that. So we go from the beach to Victoria's bedroom. Carolyn's back. She comes running back in. And she's so happy. Joe took the blame for their little argument because remember she wanted him to take her. She wanted him to take her to the beach in the middle of the day. He had to work, so he said no. So she just left and just had an attitude about it. Well, he took the blame for that, so it's okay now, and he's on his way over. So Liz comes in, asking if any of them have seen David. And like, no. And she asked, well, did Roger tell you he was with Burke? And it's just about David. Just I don't know what to do about him. And they keep warning the kid about Burke. He just does not listen. He's just as bad as Carolyn. So Mrs. Johnson says, well, Carolyn says Mrs. Johnson could help, like just trying to keep David under control. I don't know why she thinks Mrs. Johnson would help, but oh, okay, maybe, who knows? But they hear a car pull up. They figure it must be Joe. So Carolyn just asks Victoria, oh, will you go downstairs and check? Let them know I'll be down in a couple minutes. So Victoria's out of the room. Liz asks Carolyn how Burke acts towards David. Carolyn says that Burke tolerates him. And David says that Burke is his friend. And, as she's doing this, she's looking in the mirror, kind of messing with her hair. Again, it looks fine. It does like that little flip at the end. And she's just brushing it, trying to make it look like something. And, oh, how's my hair look? Is it fine? And Liz is like, I wish everything in this house was as all right as your hair. That is why Carolyn does it, though. She mentioned it way early on. She does kind of put on this, like, nice girl. I mean, she is a nice girl, but she does kind of put on this act that she's like this friendly, easygoing type of chick when she's really just kind of scared all of the time and doesn't know herself. And T says, I find it to be interesting to call out folks who don't agree with brainwashing is to label and brand them as crazy or not knowing what they are talking. Nothing about brainwash. Yeah, you can't tell a brainwashed person that they're brainwashed. Oh no, I'm doing everything. I just, because you couldn't have told me I was making bad decisions before I found religion. So it's, I don't know what wakes people up, because religion woke me up. So I don't understand how people are religious and still believe in the news. So I don't know what wake the hell up pill to. I had religion woke me up, and then 11 years ago when my friend died, that woke me up the rest of the way, and I could just not see the bullshit. But I would hate to tell somebody to go through what I did, have everybody in your life who loves you die, and then live your life. I don't, that's too cruel to put people through. Not people I like. I'm not that type of people are, oh, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wish it 3 times. I am not that one. Oh no, like the worst shit that happened to me. Hold on, how can I make it worse and put it on somebody else? So I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I went through. Am going through. In the Collinwood foyer, Joe shows up. Joe gets up there so fast. Anytime Carolyn's on the phone with him, it's like dude's already halfway there. He must just drive there. He must, like, running through. Is there even a stoplight in town? He gets there so fast. There's only one way up the road, but he knows it. But Victoria lets him in, and Joe's like, hey, have you talked to Carolyn about the blue whale the other night? Victoria's like, no. Joe's like, yeah, I would kind of prefer it if Carolyn didn't know that he was dancing with Maggie at the blue whale. Victoria's like, well, she won't hear about it from me. She knows how to keep her mouth shut. She's not a snitch. So this is what Liz comes downstairs and she wants to speak with Joe for a hot minute, so they just hop into the living room. So Victoria takes Joe's coat, sets it on the side table. There's like that one long table in the middle with the phone. She picks it up from that, sets it on the side table. Don't hang it up. So this is when Roger gets home. He notices the living room doors are closed. Asks Victoria if somebody's in there. And Victoria's like, yeah, it's Liz and Joe Haskell. And Roger's not happy to know Joe's there, but he does not want Carolyn to know that he and Joe fought at the Blue Whale last night. They didn't, physically fight, but it got heated there. Victoria tells Roger to, yeah, be nice to Joe because you know how Carolyn feels about him. So you know Carolyn likes him. Roger's like, I don't. He didn't seem to think much of Joe before, like just being a fisherman, and now that they've gotten into it, he probably just thinks absolutely nothing of the guy now. But in the living room, they're having a real conversation. Joe is talking about he wants to be his own boss someday. But Liz says that's a good answer. It's like all these raises and offers for raises and advancement are nice, but he really wants to just like earn enough money, buy his own bow, work at it, build it up to be his own man someday. So Roger comes in and he's accusing Joe of trying to compete with the Collins family fleet. And Joe's like, no, I'm thinking, down the road, maybe we can work together, like through some kind of contract offer like that. And Liz would prefer that he just continue to work for them like he always has. But Joe wants to marry Carolyn, and he wants to be on his own 2 feet, like on his way to starting his own business when he does ask her. Finally, really does drop the question. He's been asking her before, but it's like he's not been that serious about it. But I think with Burke around, he's trying to, like, kick his plans in the pants a little bit to get things going. Yeah, Joe does say he does still want to marry Carolyn, and Roger's like, oh, well, does she still feel the same way about you? This is just get out. We're not talking to you, Roger. Get out of the room. So Roger goes into the foyer, and Carolyn's coming down, and he mentions to her, it's like, I can't believe you want to marry a fisherman. And he mentions how he saw Maggie and Joe dancing together at the Blue Whale. Don't believe me? Ask Victoria. So Carolyn's all upset. She runs upstairs right as the living room doors are open and Liz and Joe are walking out. Liz is saying that a promotion is better than going solo now. But Joe's like, no, he wants to do it on his own terms, including getting Carolyn to marry him. So, Carolyn wasn't even out of the room. She's just halfway up the stairs, so she's hearing all of this. She turns right back around. And she thinks Liz is selling her to Joe, is how she's taking it. So she gets down there, she gets right in Joe's face, like, be independent, but without me. Runs upstairs. So up in Victoria's room, she's writing a letter with that new pen that she found, that silver pen, and a fountain pen. So just writing, just the way cursive handwriting looked back then, right-handed. Carolyn comes up there, she's pissed off. Like, well, Victoria didn't tell her that she saw Joe and Maggie together at the Blue Whale. Victoria's like, because they weren't on a date. They just both happened to be in the same room at the same time. So Carolyn says that Joe turned down that promotion from Liz. And Joe said no, he wants to go solo so they can get married. And she's like, oh, well, I'm just going to go up to Lookout Point, just go for a walk, clear my head, and maybe I'll fall in, then I won't have any more problems. Damn, girl, that's dark. So down in the foyer, there's Joe, and it's always something with Carolyn. Liz is like, I know. Well, watch that back. Her line, just the way she says, I know. There's just so much in those two words. Like, dude, that's my daughter. You get to leave. I gotta put up with this chick all the time, every day. I know. So he's, takes off. So Liz asks Roger to go get Carolyn. And she gets on the phone about Mrs. Johnson about a job. So up in Victoria's room, there's Roger asking where Carolyn is. And Victoria says, oh, she just went out for a walk to Lookout Point. It's nice. Check out what I found there. And Roger stares at this pen. He's like he hasn't been looking for it for the whole day. He's like, you found this pen at Lookout Point? Victoria's like, yeah, it's pretty, right? But it needs some ink. So just takes it out of his hand. She's going to go get some ink, and he just has to let her. Like, you cannot hold onto this pen for 1 second. You're going to look sus. So you just... This thing I was looking for, oh, she's just going to go put ink in it. Really good episode of Victoria's Bedroom for the credits. You have that thing I've been looking for? I probably don't need to do this, but let's check the audio. If this one wasn't on a water sign, I'd probably let it go, but I don't trust it. Thinking back on it, that's a really good episode. Oh no, I don't know how to... Can I get to my own show from library? No, it'll show me my videos, but not my live shows. That's so messed up. That's okay. That's me. It should be okay. Alright. Library. But not my live shows. Yeah, that's me. Cool. It sounds... Close. There we go. Too bright. Too bright. Too bright. Cover this up really quickly. Alright. I didn't bump my camera, did I? Can't tell. Was the camera always like that? Wait, let me... I did, like, the cord for it is touching the TV. So when I hung that thing back up on it, it's basically in the... Sure, why not? I should have checked the edges of the shot before I stood up. That's okay. It's close enough. The audio's good. So we're on episode 81, October 17, 1966. It's still day 10. We're in the afternoon. We get some exterior shots. It's Matthew Morgan leaving Collinwood. So we get to see what the doors look like during the day. It's kind of like, it's not like how, like, most shots are just straight on. It's a little bit down like that. We're looking up at him a little bit. Not quite that extreme, but it's just, you're going to notice a different camera angle. So he's leaving Collinwood, just walking out the front door, and then we see him walking into the Collinsport Inn restaurant. Yeah, orders his black coffee. And there's Burke sitting there at a table, just eating, so Matthew just walks on up. And Burke says, I didn't invite you to sit down, but there he is. Matthew just sits down. Burke says, you tried to kill me last time. Matthew's like, yeah, sorry. It's like, you have more money than you need. You only want Collinwood because you think Bill Malloy was killed. Burke's like, well, don't worry. He's like, you won't lose your home and your job. It's like Mrs. Johnson. I heard Liz is thinking of hiring some help. It'll never happen. So even Burke doesn't think Liz is going to hire any help for up at Collinwood. That's what he says anyway. We know different. But Matthew's like, oh yeah? Well, you don't know her. Mrs. Johnson's going up to Collinwood for an interview, and she might live there. That's right, Burke. Bill Malloy's housekeeper living up at Collinwood. Not you. Never you. And he takes off. And as much as Matthew thought he was just telling off Burke, all he's really doing is giving this dude extra information. But, good on Matthew, though. Good for him. So over in the lobby, Burke gets on the phone. And he's talking to Mrs. Johnson. He didn't know about the interview today. It's like, well, just, keep me informed from now on. He's mad at her, too. So in the living room, Liz is speaking to Matthew. She tells him to avoid Burke, and I'll protect us from him, and nothing's going to change around here. And Matthew doesn't want a stranger there. He does not like the idea of Mrs. Johnson being employed there. He's like, we've always made do. And Liz says, well, if I hire somebody, it's because it's a good idea. So like, look, man, just trust my judgment. So now this is a different outside shot. We've never seen this before. It's we're a little bit, when you pull up to Collinwood, when you actually see the actual proper building from outside, it's almost like there's a little area you can pull up into, and it's covered. That's where the door is, and you can loop around and leave. So it's we see a car pulling up. It's a taxi. We see the back of it. We keep hearing this sound. I didn't know what it was, but it's there's Matthew out there. He's just trimming the hedges, and he's watching the car pull up. Again, Matthew Morgan is a very large fella. He's he's tall, he's wide, so it's this dude is not hiding anywhere. He's noticeable. Like when the cat's hiding and you can see the tail underneath something. Yeah, that's how he hides. I don't think he's trying to hide. He shouldn't. But in the foyer, Liz lets Mrs. Johnson in. And the way they talk, they have not been face to face in many years. It sounds as if maybe Mrs. Johnson had seen Liz around town, prior to 18 years ago. Maybe around 20 years ago, it seems to be around when Mrs. Johnson started working for Bill Malloy. So, she's seen Liz before, but she's never been up to Collinwood, so she hasn't seen that lady in, 20 years. But they walk into the living room, and Mrs. Johnson kind of, she doesn't just walk into the room, she kind of, stops for a second, oh, it's so lovely. So she's never been in Collinwood before, and Bill Malloy, he talked about it, but it's just descriptive skills were sort of lacking, and he had spoken of the large staff Collinwood used to have, and even on the night he died, that kind of gets her down. She gets kind of choked up there. And she says he was a good person. He didn't have to die. But she's not there to talk about Mr. Malloy. She's there for a job interview. And Liz says she needs a cook and someone to help clean. And she mentions that there are pressures that go along with living in Collinwood. Do you know Burke Devlin? Mrs. Johnson, barely, and that's perfect. And Liz goes on to say that, how they live at Collinwood, like things they talk about, stuff they do, that's their affair. That's their business, how they live their lives. And Mrs. Johnson's like, well, if I can be frank with you, she's not a gossip, and in almost 20 years, she never repeated a word she heard in Mr. Malloy's home. Liz is like, cool, let me show you the house. As she's walking out, like Mrs. Johnson kind of turns back around to look at the living room. Liz is in the foyer, she can't see this, but the look on Mrs. Johnson's face, like that, oh, it's lovely. She doesn't think it's that nice in there. You just look at her face. So they get done with the tour. Oh, yeah, what happens in Collinwood stays in Collinwood. You better believe it. Bruh. And what's funny, this maybe has already happened once. I didn't write it down. But one of the characters, a couple of characters will mispronounce Collinwood and call it Collingwood. It's not that much of a flub, but it's probably something you might not even notice when you're listening to it the first time through, but you're like, wait, what? Is there a G in there? Who are they calling? Is there a phone in this episode? So they get done with the tour, and we're just basically in the foyer again. Apparently, she offered a fair pay that she offered to Mrs. Johnson, and Mrs. Johnson, oh, it's more than enough. All right, yeah, that was a typo. That's okay. That's all right. I wasn't even thinking about the typo. I was just thinking about the way actors kind of like that Davy David thing. Like, am I hearing that right? I think that, oh, okay, you can call him that. Apparently calling it Collingwood and not Collinwood is not enough to, like, stop the scene, so you gotta play through it. Did they get letters about that? I'm sure it was fine. But Matthew's walking in the door just then, and Liz is like, well, Matthew will drive you, back home. But she's not sure about giving her the job just yet. She wants more time to think about it before she agrees to hire her. So she will give her a call. And Mrs. Johnson just, thank you. I'd love to come work in this house and just stuff like that. So it sounds like she really wants the job without, coming off desperate. Just, I would really enjoy working here. So we're at the Collinsport Inn restaurant. It's Mrs. Johnson and Matthew walking in. You can see this now because, like I say, there's a regular door to walk into the restaurant. It's like you open that screen door, you step inside, and there's like this little teeny tiny entrance area, and then you're in the restaurant. So if you can call a 6-foot area a foyer, like a mud room, where if it was a house, that would be where you'd like put your shoes and your coat and your umbrella. But Mrs. Johnson, she was too excited to eat lunch earlier, so that's why they're there. And she didn't really invite Matthew to sit with her, but he's like, well, I'm not done saying what I had to say. It's like, well, why do you want to work at Collinwood? It's like, those people up there, they're like family to me. It's like, you could retire. And he just wants her to know how he feels about it. It's not necessarily like he doesn't. It does sound like he does not want her to work there, and she notices that, but he wants to get it off of his chest. But Mrs. Johnson, she's always so close to tears. Again, it just happened, but she's saying how she was more fond of Bill Malloy than Matthew or anybody will ever know, and that Mr. Malloy's first loyalty was to Liz and the Collins family, and she wants to do what she thinks or he would want her to do. So I guess that's good enough for Matthew. Oh, what's up, B Chap? Glad you made it. Yeah, smash that like button right meow. So Mrs. Johnson, like, oh, I need to, whenever, there's also another girl at the restaurant, whenever Maggie's not there. Her name is Susie. They mention it, but Susie, offers her a menu. Mrs. Johnson, oh, no, not yet. I gotta, make a phone call. Goes into the lobby, into the phone booth. And just, hey, Mr. Devlin, I'm here. I need to come up, let you know what's going on. So Mrs. Johnson's up in Burke's room, and he's like, yeah, great, when do you start? Mrs. Johnson's like, I don't know. Burke's like, well, you screwed up. And he starts going off. After setting up everything, making the idea seem like it's Carolyn, and getting her to ask Liz, and actually going through all this motion. It's like, so you must have done something to screw something up, because I had everything set into plan, and he's really going off on her. Mrs. Johnson, like, well, screw you, pal. Like, I don't like the way you're talking to me right now. I don't think I like you. I'm leaving. So Burke, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Just wait. If you're waiting for Liz to call you back for a job, shouldn't you be at home waiting by the phone? Like, why the hell are you talking to me? It's like, well, you go do that. I'm gonna go up to Lookout Point. He's looking for evidence. You leave. I gotta go too. We'll talk later. So in the living room, Matthew is telling Liz that he left Mrs. Johnson at the Collinsport Inn. And Liz is saying that Mrs. Johnson seems like an efficient, well-balanced person. And Bill Malloy was fond of her. So Liz gets on the phone and tells Mrs. Johnson to come work for them ASAP. And then she gets off the phone and she's like, I hope I haven't made a mistake. Look at her face when she says that. Her whole demeanor changes. I don't know how. I wish I could act. But just glad about her decision too. I hope I didn't make a mistake. Scene ends. Great. We see the living room. We can see the piano keys and the fireplace. So it like the camera really is not off to the side that much. Well, I guess it would be like that. But like the piano's right there and it's open so we can see. And then right across the way that's fireplace. It's a shot like that. We don't usually get a lot of shots like that, but it's a shot like that. Episode 82 was October 18, 1966. It's still afternoon on that 10th day. We are in David's bedroom. And he's supposed to be learning, but he's just staring at that crystal ball of his. There's his maths assignments, and he's just staring at it. And Victoria's just she's a very good at tolerating. It's not like no, look at your books, look at your books. She's very like okay, let him be distracted, and then focus him. So she's good at working with kids. But David tells Victoria that his crystal ball is real, and Burke is going to prove that his dad killed Bill Malloy. I guess that crystal ball should be a detective. So in the Collins report, the sheriff is there. He's sitting there reading a book. It is so odd to see a cop reading a book. Like you always see them with paperwork and just like with their little notepad. But this is like a book for enjoyment that he's reading. That never happened on Law and Order. But Burke's saying he was just up at Lookout Point, and he asked the sergeant, was the beach searched? Sheriff's like, no, it was high tide when Bill went in, so it wasn't a beach to search. And Burke asks, was a pen found? And he says, Roger killed Bill, and then he implies that he lost, suppose somebody had a pen on them, and then like he gets into this real theoretical discussion, and the sheriff is not trying to hear it. He's just, the case is closed. OB Chef says, won't get into it though. To directly make a long story short, went to the doctor on Thursday, and he said the health issues are much better. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're on the mend, on the upswing. That's great. That's always good news. And when the health goes downhill, everything else seems to follow right after it. So in David's room, Victoria's, grading his paper and with her, cool new shiny silver pen that she found. Like, oh, where'd you get it? I found it. So David says that he heard Liz on the phone to Mrs. Johnson for a job. And then Victoria's talking about how she just, found that pen. And Roger happens to walk in then, and he, notices them talking about it. He's like, oh, you should keep it. And, hands it to him to look at, because this is the only, second time he's seen it. Oh, yeah, that's very nice. You should hang on to that. Oh, the phone keeps ringing, and he's like, oh, nobody's down there to answer it. Let me go get it. And he's almost to the door, and David's like, wait, Dad, you've still got Vicky's pad. Oh, yeah, just here you go. Just very slick, Almost got away with it. There's your pen back. Let me go answer the phone. So in the foyer, Burke, his phone, he wants to meet Roger at the Blue Whale. I was paying attention to this. Burke phones, he says to me, at the Blue Whale. Then we are in the Collinsport Inn. Burke sitting there waiting. Oh, Roger, that was awfully fast. That only took you 9 minutes and 20 seconds. But he's right-handed. That only took you 9 minutes and 20 seconds. People often wear their watch on their non-dominant hand, and they did say Blue Whale. This is not the Blue Whale. There's no alcohol in this, so it's just continuity error that nobody noticed, so it doesn't hurt anything. But I'm like, I was expecting to see the blue whale. Now it's them. It's not me. Like, yeah, 9 minutes 20 seconds world record. Where's my pen? Roger's like, I lost it. So Burke mentions he was at Lookout Point looking for it. And you had it when you left Collinwood that night. You called Bill Malloy, and you met him there. Roger's like, you're trying to build a murder case out of a pen? And this is right when the sheriff's walking back in, and he's overhearing the end of this. Like, you're still on about that? Like, I told you the case was closed. And Burke's like, no, I gotta say this. Like, I think you lost that pen at Lookout Point. Someone found it. They're gonna realize what it means. Then you're done. So back in David's room, they're still looking at that pen, and David's like, wow, that must be worth, I think at first it's his like $10,000, and Victoria's like, I don't think it's worth quite that much. It's like, okay, well, it must be worth $1,000, which is basically worth $10,000 today. We've looked that up. I can look it up again. Just to be sure, just in case they change their mind, it is a brand new year. Currency. This does it for because it's got the US, Canada, UK, Australia, Europe. It says more, so this will look like convert currency for like for Patrick, or Australian dollars for a beach app. Yeah, $1,000 in 1966 is it's $10,000. It's $9,999.26. So it must be real silver. But he's really admiring. He's got, oh man, it must be worth so much. Well, where'd you get it? And Victoria's like, well, I can't say exactly where I found it. Because you might go there and find the beach where they're just scattered all about. Like the the ground is just lousy with them. You can pick them up by the handful. And like the more she goes on, the more David realizes she's just putting them on. He's just really had him going. But Roger comes in. He wants to speak with Victoria. So they head down to the living room. Roger is bringing up again Victoria working for those friends down in Florida. Oh, they're a nice couple with a couple of kids and all this stuff. And he's mentioning it because Burke made another threat. And then he offers her $2,000 or $3,000 for her troubles so far. $3,000. Yeah, so that's it. Just basically offering somebody 20 or 30K to fuck off. That's really that's something these days. That's you could get by with that amount for a time, like a year or less. Victoria, but turns it down. No thanks. Zero interest. But David comes into the room. Roger's done talking with Victoria, so he goes upstairs. But David wants that pen to just be a secret between himself and Victoria. And then he says, the crystal ball said the pen was at Lookout Point. Victoria's like, yeah, good guess. So up in David's bedroom, there's that pen just lying on the tabletop, and nobody's in there. So Roger just takes it in the coat pocket. Just like David borrowing things. I wonder where he gets it from. And we see David's bedroom for the credits. Yeah. If I had a real silver pen, I would not just be leaving it lying about. I would not leave it in the care of a 9-year-old. It doesn't matter how honest or dishonest he is. No. But maybe Victoria's like that. Maybe she's a, easy come, easy go. If she would have bought it, it would have been one thing. She seems way too practical a person to spend that much on a pen, but well, let's say if she was rich like that, she's not a careless type of person, but just hey, she found it, so it's nothing to her. Like it's not like she was gonna melt it down for scrap metal. How would that look? You work for the Collins family, but you still got to take silver in to get smelted down so you have something to live on. Episode 83 was October 19, 1966. And we're still afternoon on that 10th day. This is, again, this is an exterior shot. We've never seen this before. We're outside, and it's one of these side entrances to Collinwood. Roger is stepping out. Very well dressed. I don't know what kind of, as much as I don't know women's clothing, men's clothing is just, I don't know the names for this stuff, but it's like this plaid outfit, and the jacket, it's almost like halfway down it's a cape, but it's not a raincoat. It's just like the cape part kind of ends maybe at the waist, and then the rest of it's a regular coat. It just has that little bit of extra flare to it on the back. It's perfectly fine. I'm sure there's a name for it. I can point it out if I see it. I don't know the name for it. That style. This is clearly a fashion channel. But Roger's always very well dressed. He wears it well. But we're up in David's room, and Victoria and David cannot find that pen. They're, looking around on the floor, the desk somewhere. It's nowhere. And Victoria says, well, no one would walk in here and take it. She doesn't watch the show. She doesn't know what Roger just did. Oh, what's up, Thomas Collins? Glad you made it. So we're up at Widow's Hill. Roger has that pen, and he's just dug a little hole there, just buries it under, a rock, sets it on there. Just you wouldn't know it. This Cape Coat thing is what I wrote down. Just so the pen is now 6 inches under. It's not a very deep hole that he buried it in. I wonder what they do on the set here as far as when they have to dig into earth. How much fun is that to set up for the actors? And then when they go to dig, they're not digging straight down. It's like these very shallow, scoops, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're back in David's room, and he said he left the pen next to his crystal ball. And he kind of did. It was just all right there on the desk. But Victoria thinks like he borrowed it. David's like, well, why don't you blame my father? He went upstairs when I was downstairs. He's got a point. So in the foyer, Roger's back. He comes in. He tosses his coat on the table. And he can hear them arguing from all the way up the stairs. I wonder how this is set up as far as the studio goes. Is the upstairs really upstairs? Like we can clearly hear them. But they're out in the hallway arguing, and David is saying that the ghost took it into the West Wing. And this is when, Roger is, walking up there and finding them arguing about it. And Roger's like, what? David's like, I didn't take it. Roger's like, well, that's good enough for me. He wants to talk to Victoria down to the living room. Watch David, like he watches Roger walk away. Like that whole like, well, that's good enough for me. It's David's in shock. Like his father's never just taken his side so quickly before. That David looks at him, watches him walk away. It's like he stood up for me. See, he's my friend and not yours. This kid is on. I love this whole scene. It, like he was just honest. Like when somebody says something and you can't believe it, so you have to like continue to like watch them move about. It's like that. He stuck up for me. So we are in the Collinsport Inn. Donuts. This might have been what I missed the first time through, but like, yeah, there's a covered up thing. There's the donuts back there. They're not always an actor in the scene, but if I see the donuts back there, they're getting mentioned. Nice. So Maggie's just walking in from over like the lobby side, and she's got a newspaper, like putting change in her pocket. So she's really interested in the newspaper. And like she's got her head so into the newspaper, like she's sitting at the counter, but she's seriously reading it. Joe walks in, he sees that she's distracted, so he slips behind the counter, like grabs the coffee, the thing with coffee in it, offers her a cup. She's like, oh, just happy to see him. Like, sure, yeah, pour me a cup. And he pours her a cup of coffee, and she looks at it, and she's like, oh no, that's all wrong. It's like, what? It's like a cup without a saucer? It's unheard of. It didn't have a saucer, though. But, it pours them both a cup of coffee and saying how he turned down that promotion that he was offered by Liz. And Maggie guesses why. She's like, yeah, don't tell me. It's because you wanted to strike out on your own and start your own fishing fleet. Joe's like, yeah. Do you think I'm crazy? Maggie's like, no, it's not crazy if you know what you really want and you go after it. And then he tells her, oh, Carolyn said she never wants to see him again. And she's mad that he turned down that promotion. And it's kind of just really hitting him now, how they're never going to be on the same page, and it's better that he realizes it now. So what should he do? Maggie's like, well, there's a lot of things you can do. You can marry her, you can sit in your room and sulk about it, or you can get a new girl. I know that's right, Maggie. You better strike while the iron's hot. Thomas says, we're on the up. Love your accent, B. Listen to your heart. It's the best doctor. Yeah, B-Chap's alright. So in the living room, Roger is saying to Victoria, if you want David to trust you, don't accuse him of stealing. Victoria's like, well, but he did. Roger's like, how about this? How about we let it go just this one time? Don't talk about it anymore. Watch how he reacts. It'll be fine. Just drop it. Victoria's like, well, you can't let this kind of behavior slide. She can't trust him. And Roger is like, she's like, you're never going to see it again. Don't mention it to David or anyone. Just let it all go. Forget all about it. And Victoria, she really doesn't want to, but she's reluctantly agrees. This is why David acts like this. He doesn't get punished for anything. But at the restaurant, Maggie basically calls Joe a Captain Save a Ho. He wants to be like the White Knight of Collinwood and rescue Carolyn from up out of there. And Maggie was creeped out at Collinwood. She's like, I've been up there once. It felt like 100 ghosts were staring at her, and all she saw was, she calls it the entrance hall and the drawing room, what we call the foyer. Apparently, it's a hall. I could see how that could be the end of a hallway. I think I'm thinking a little bit too much about the Dark Shadows movies, which were filmed in the building that we see for Collinwood. That, but you guys wouldn't know that. But okay, let's just assume it's the end of a hallway, because I told you there's more going on back there that we don't know about behind the camera. The entrance hall. It does seem like Collinwood would have a heavy atmosphere to it. It's like, oh, okay, there's, you got the heat in the living room, but the foyer entrance hall, I imagine, would be cold and drafty with the wind just coming down the stairs. And then you got the door to the kitchen in the back there, and the two double entrance doors, and it just seems like there's so much space for air to move around, and it's stone, so there's not like carpet. Your voice is going to echo off the walls. It's got a tall ceiling, so it's cold and echoey and breezy most of the time. I'm sure, like, even at like nighttime in the summertime, it stays cool in there. But Joe was saying, talking about the West Wing, it's, I think Maggie asked if he's ever been to like the closed off section of the house, and maybe just once, but it was musty and spooky, and there's dark corridors full of ghosts. Maggie is flirting with him so hard in this scene. These two actors have great chemistry together. They are so much fun to watch. And she said, if I had to choose my little cottage or Collinwood, I'd choose my house any day of the week. And then she invites Joe over for dinner sometime, like tonight. And he's, as much as he wants to say, like, give her a definite yes, he's like, maybe I'll call. So that's, oh, okay. There's a maybe for dinner, and she just, oh, it has to let him go. So I don't know. She's making headway. You better get that man, girl. I don't know about Halloween parties. Like, I know I must have done stuff on Halloween when I was a kid with my friends. I don't know what I did on Halloween. As an adult, it's not like you're like going out and trick or treating unless you have children yourself or something. If you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know that all the demons and whatnot stay in on that day, because it's cliche to be out as a spooky creature on the spooky creature night, so they stay in. So I kind of take that mentality of it. I can get up to mischief anytime. It doesn't have to be that night. I wonder if that's fun, having your birthday on or around Halloween. So in David's bedroom, Roger comes in, and he takes out it's a fancy type of pen. Takes that out of his coat. Here, David, you can, here's a pen. You can have it. And it doesn't look anything like that silver pen, but it's just something to like get his mind off all that pen issue stuff just earlier then. And David's mad he was accused of stealing, but Roger tells him, hey, adults make mistakes like kids do, and that pen is just to make up for the trouble. Just forget all about Miss Winter's pen. And promise not to mention it to anyone like she did. So David says, okay. But he's gonna get even for Victoria accusing him of stealing. Roger's like, oh, well, I can't stop you. Thomas Collins like Pride Week in San Francisco. Oh no, which is just like Halloween is just like a less gay version of that. So it is night, and we are in the living room. We hear thunder. Victoria's there. David comes in asking where his father is. Victoria says he's out. It's just the two of them there. So David runs upstairs. So in the foyer, it's a knock at the door. Victoria answers. It's Joe. He's looking for Carolyn. She's out. So Joe asks, do you think I'm dumb for coming up here to get, dumped on every 10 minutes? And Victoria says, yeah. Joe says, well, to hell with this. I've got a dinner date. And Victoria's like, well, can you just wait around here a little bit longer, just until she's just really trying to get him to hang around for a minute because she's in the house by herself. She doesn't trust David. She doesn't, say that, but she just does not want Joe to leave right away. Just, hey, can you just stay and talk for a minute? Just kick it. He's got to go. Okay, I can't make you stay. She does not want to be alone in Collinwood with David. So David, he's up in his room, and it just what happens on the show is when people are stressed out, they'll open a window, or if it's about to rain, you've never seen so many people opening up windows in your whole life. Thomas, real queers just stay home, right? But David, he's got his window open, and he's gonna get even. So he walks out of his room in the hallway, just, wondering who was at the door. So Victoria tells David that Joe was there, but he left. So David's like, oh, I just remembered your pen. It's over in the West Wing. I'll get it if you go in there with me. And only I can get in there. So Victoria agrees. So they're just going down the hallway to that door. We get a shot of Widow's Hill for the credits. Episode 84. This was October 20th, 1966. And we're still on that 10th day. It is nighttime. It's funny, it is nighttime, but we get a day shot of Collinwood. And then we go immediately into, like I said before, it was night, and there's thunder outside. So somebody was not paying attention. Meet me at the Blue Whale. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, hey, what are you doing here? We should be meeting at the Blue Whale. Like, no, that didn't, but whatever. So it's a nighttime. There's that thunder going on outside. We're in a hallway that we've never seen this before. We're in the West Wing, and it's just a hallway that has not been used in 50 years. It's kind of what you would expect. It's just random furniture, like maybe that was a dresser that's just been shoved against the wall, crooked pictures on the wall, picture frames just leaning against the wall, like cobwebs on absolutely everything. a brick wall. These people can dress a set. The only time you really feel like you're looking at a set is when like they happen to shoot up too high and you can see where the wall ends, or if they like shoot off too far to the side and you can see where a wall ends. But like once you're, if everything's shot well, like you, the sets are always dressed well. You never feel like you're just. There are scenes in movies that look more like sets than this TV show does. So it's very just dimly lit. They can't really see that well. Sure, it's musty. And David's like, well, you want your pen back, don't you? Victoria says, not this badly. I know, that's right. Yeah, West Wing's been closed off for 50 years. And David likes going there because nobody bothers him there. Wait, where'd he get the keys? So anyway, we go to the store. We're at this like David's little secret room that's all his, and it's again it's a little bit less cobwebby, but it's still, there's like bundles and bundles of paper that are just stacked up, but like tied up the way you would see newspaper or bundles of newspaper. Yeah, like I'm not saying these are newspapers. I'm just trying to equate it to something in real life that you may have seen. Because it doesn't look like stacks of magazines. It's just like lots of loose papers that are just tied together with string. Yeah, desks. There's a little cot, like it's got a frame, a little thin mattress on it. Way up high, there's a window with bars on it. You can see like the light flashing through. It seems creepy and cold. Uh, but I can definitely see why a kid would want to hang out in there. If you're a little kid, of course you're going to want to explore. You're going to want privacy. There, the paper is strewn about it. It's a room where nobody tells him to clean up after himself, so it's going to look wrecked up. It's the exact same way any 9-year-old would have a secret room. And there are some like books in there and things like that too, and he's got it kind of cozy for himself. Yeah, there was that bed frame over there, desk papers. He says not even Matthew goes in there. And you could be in here forever and nobody would know. And we've never seen Victoria quite this creeped out. The whole time she's just looking around. She's got like she's wearing up like a skirt, a button-up shirt, and a sweater. So she's like pulling up the sweater, making it sure it's closed, and just like, I don't want to be here. I want to get out of here as fast as possible. It's cold. I'm creeped out. I don't even like this kid. I don't like nothing. It's just so it's you can tell she's not having a good time. But David, he's got his setup. He's got a box over there. He's got some canned food. He's got his can opener and forks and paper plates. So he can sit there and eat with his ghost friends. Like ghosts can't eat and you're eating in front of them. That's rude. But in the foyer, Carolyn's back. She takes off her coat, tosses it on the table. All right, this is it. Liz is wearing, it's this very long dress, like long sleeves all the way down to the floor. And it has this like thick, like if you just like take something up and like roll it up into a tube like that for the collar all the way around. It's the most distracting part of the whole dress. Like if it didn't have that, it's just, I don't understand that. The collar of the dress like that. And then it also has, it's the sheer cape of the same pattern. Covers all the way down the arm, all the way down to the floor. you can, like I say, sheer, you can see through it. Well, with the double pearl earrings. Now, while I was trying to figure out the pattern, I remembered this dress in color. This dress is yellow. It's not like a solid yellow. It does have this pattern. It's not leaves, it's not flowers. It's just like this wispy pattern to it. Like both of them have it. I don't know how to describe it, but I know it's yellow. I remember it from later on. It's yellow. And it's so interesting to think about Liz, who's always kind of like melancholy in a bright color, but it's that dress. We're going to see it later on in color. It kind of, I was going to say makes more sense, but like it looks nice on her. I just don't know how to describe that pattern. Like it's not paisley, it's not plaid, it's not just nothing like that. It's not polka dot, but it looks nice on her. It looks very comfortable. While it's not showing off her figure too much. It just looks so like you could almost wear it for bed clothes. But it's so loose. It must be so comfortable to wear. It's like it's not too tight. It's not too anything. That must be lovely to just float around in. But Liz cannot find David. And Carolyn just says, "Oh, she was out for a walk. She came back because that storm was rolling in, and she just decided that she doesn't like herself at all. The way she blew up at Joe for trying to be his own man, and she's just completely unhappy with herself." Thomas says, Halloween is my dad's birthday. I don't have kids. I got a bag of Lifesavers gummies and a bottle of Jameson. Then resume posts. I'm the Night Watchman. That sounds so good. The Lifesavers gummies, one of them doesn't taste good, and it's so sad. Maybe the green apple one, but the rest of them are good. That's nice. I hope Jim Zell got some Twizzlers yesterday. But yeah, Liz offered Joe the promotion so he and Carolyn could get married. And Liz was thinking of, Carolyn, not of Joe. It's good that he wants to be independent. Carolyn she was scared that he would take the promotion. And she thinks she loves him. Liz says, so tell him. So Carolyn's like, what would I do without you? Liz says, you're a Collins. You'd survive. So Carolyn phones Joe to come on over. She's so happy AF. And Liz is mentioning, like, yeah, have you seen Miss Winters? I haven't seen her either. And Carolyn's not even on it. She just wants a fancy night out. She wants Joe to take her out to some restaurant and get a bottle of champagne and just have the biggest, fanciest night at the drop of a hat. And she says people at Collinwood are they're logical, gloomy, and full of bad premonitions. And Liz mentions she used to watch parties from the stairs when she was a little girl. And just talking about the closed off section of the house. And there's nothing left in those rooms but memories of a past that won't come back. Great line read from her there, too. Oh, Thomas Collins. A good time was had by all. Oh, California kids love them. I love Jelly Bellies. They're okay. I've never been a huge jelly bean person because I don't know what like the flavors match up to. I never learned that. Yeah, that was a great moment. So up in that secret room in the West Wing, David just starts screaming to just help as loud as he can for no reason. So Victoria's like, nothing's happened to you, kid. What the hell are you screaming about? But he's like, well, nobody can hear us, see? And the ghost told me about a girl locked in here for 50 years, and all they found of her was bones. And then he, like pretends to, look for the pen around the room somewhere. So down in the foyer, there's Joe, and he's all dressed up, like suit and tie, nice coat with it. And, Carolyn's so happy to see him, puts her arms around him and kisses him, and he's just, like, he kisses her back, but you can just tell by the look on his face he's not into it. She's like, oh, is that the best you've got? He kisses him again. He's just, he's not on it. But Liz comes down, and Joe was saying how he was there earlier, and he saw Victoria, who said Carolyn was out, and David was there too, but she couldn't stick around. And that was something like an hour ago. Dude, you've been up here twice in an hour. So Carolyn, he's here to take me out. Like, nobody said that. But up in the secret room, Victoria wants to leave. She goes to leave, the door's locked. David locked them in there. And she's like, I don't think the pen was ever in here. And she thinks that David just wants to scare her. David's like, why would I want to scare you? Because you called me a liar and said I stole your pen? That's okay. Like, his ghost friends are going to yell at her. But, oh, okay, well, let's go. Oh, he tells Victoria, blow out the candle so the house doesn't burn down, and we'll go. So as she goes to blow out the candle, he locks her in the room. And she's beating on the door, and he's yelling at her through it, scream all you want. Like, I hope you die. I won't even go to your funeral, all this kind of stuff. And he just goes to his room. So in the living room, Carolyn is she's so apologetic to, I was thinking about it, Joe, and you were right, and here's what I thought. And she's trying to explain herself to him because she was on her walk and thought about it. And he's just sitting back listening to her. Like, we've never seen him so disinterested in what Carolyn has had to say before. Like, he would rather be anywhere. He's barely looking at her. And then she's explaining herself. And then Joe, he's heard enough. But Caroline, well, we can't go out right this second. I've got to get changed. She doesn't want her sexiest dress to get wet. That's what she says, not me. But Joe can't take her out because he already has plans. And he made those plans because he couldn't contact Carolyn earlier. It's just dinner plans. But Carolyn tells him to fuck off. Talk about overreacting. So in the foyer, Carolyn runs right past David. And he just kind of moseys on down the stairs, and Liz is there, and David's like, wow, I'm starved. I could really go for a glass of milk. And, Liz asked where he was. I came in the back. Miss Winters must have taken a walk. Hey, I could go for a piece of pie, too. Man, I'm starving. And Liz just looks so worried by this. And we're back in that secret room. Victoria, she's at the door. She's like, David, please let me out. I won't tell your father. I won't tell. And she's just trying to negotiate, and nobody's outside the door. She's just locked in. Thunderstorm outside. And we see outside of that locked door for the credits. That's a good place to end up. Not for Victoria, but for us. That sucks. You accuse one kid of stealing a pen, next thing you know, you're trapped in a room for the rest of your life. That's really scary. That sucks. YouTube video contents or comments? Can I read contents? Okay. I'm forgetting how to read. Oh, let's see what's going on. I realize I have absolutely no holidays in my calendar this year. When is Thanksgiving? That'll be on the 27th, right? I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, next week just seems like a regular full week for us. Well, it's 4 days, quite frankly, and then he does something else on Fridays. Art sucks for Vicky. It really does, man. You got all these people accusing you of stuff, and then you finally get some kind of foothold and put your foot down about it, and next thing you know, you're locked in a room, and it's thunderstorming out, so if you yell, nobody's going to hear you, and it's cold, and I forget if she even blew the candle out or if she got close to it, but it's going to be cold. When's the last time she ate? I don't. That really sucks, and everything. It's not like it's a rickety door. It's a solid, proper door. So even if she's gonna like throw her whole body against it, it's the most she's gonna do is fuck up her shoulder after the umpteenth time. John Rogers says 27th. I have a doctor's appointment on the 25th. Okay, yeah. I was thinking, yeah, that would make sense, because I know there's some kind of rule for it, but I'm like, it's just a Thursday, so that's okay. That's at the end of the month, so I'm sort of planning on going live then. Kind of thinking about watching The Edge. Check out The Edge on Tubi. I just might end up watching that and reviewing it at the end of the month, because everybody needs to see it. I will I'll tweet that out if that's an official thing. But yeah. Oh. BChap, Frank didn't indicate where he's usually doing on Friday. Frank's either every other Friday he's on his second channel with Anthony, and then the other Fridays he's off. I'm sure he's said it, but I don't remember it. I don't write anything down anymore. Just for my. I just have that he's off on every Friday, and as much as I would like to do an additional day of a show on a Friday, I kind of don't have anything to content wise to do. I could do more Dark Shadows, but that would just make it. I'm kind of just about 10 steps, 10 episodes ahead of whatever I'm reviewing, so that would just make me feel like I'm more behind on things, and I can't write anything down for quite frankly, so it's hard to do a whole balcony chat the way I used to. Maybe I can just put some best bits together and put those in an episode. But we'll do something. If it's Monday through Thursday and Frank is off, I will be live. It just seems like I'm getting an extra day off on Fridays, which it's kind of good. It's kind of a mental health day, extra day. We'll see. John Ryder said he just posted he started another Instagram channel. I'll take your word for it. I don't. I mean, like I follow him on Instagram. I just don't get notifications. But yeah. Whatever the chat room says is correct. So yeah, you guys are awesome for having a couple extra hours on a Saturday. You can check out Grace Still Plays merch. That's what this is. Not Today's Satan. Link in the description. Not affiliated. Just love his channel. Not YouTube, but Tubi has Dark Shadows. That is a free app. You can watch it on most streaming platforms. You can watch The Edge there. They've got Titanic. They have Dark Shadows. Lots of stuff that the other places didn't want. That's why they're doing so well. So thank you guys for being Franklies, having a couple of extra hours. Oh, I posted it on Telegram. I also follow him on Telegram. I just don't have Telegram updates turned on. Oh, the last time I was there was April 17th. Oh, started a new channel on the QF Instagram. If you're over there. Oh, it's called The Flip Side. I guess that might be for his, because I don't know. It's just something else. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad he's branching out and having fun. I hope you guys had fun here. So take it easy. Don't forget your pants because you will need those all week at Quite Frankly. So I will definitely see you guys in a chat room next week. So yeah, it was fun seeing you guys. It's fun doing these. Have a great night. Get some good sleep. Smoke out on the balcony. Get something to eat. Be a good neighbor. Don't push people off of into the water. That's rude. But I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, have a great night, everyone. Yeah, thanks, John Rogers. You too. Good night, all. Arden. Yeah, have a good night. Have some donuts.